There we go.
Okay. So let's go ahead and whip around. If you do not have a middle name, just share your last name. Um, so yeah. And so my middle name is Ashley. So that's my middle name.
I don't have one. My mom couldn't decide on one. They were arguing about it, so they just never gave me one.
Please make sure you're on mute. Esteban, do you have a middle name?
I don't.
Okay, you don't. And I'm going to just go in order of how I see the screen. Emmanuel, do you have a middle name?
Yes, I do. And my middle name is Rosales.
Okay. Thank you. Elena, what's your middle name?
Elena looks frozen.
I know. Okay. Christian, what's your middle name?
Mestas.
Can you say it one more time?
Mestas.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Logan, what about you?
My middle name is Stater.
Okay. I like that as well. Evan, what's your middle name?
My middle name is Michael.
Ooh, okay. Demaya, what about you?
My middle name is Elaine.
Ooh, similar to Elena.
That's my mom's middle name.
Nice. Danae, what's your middle name?
My middle name is Dennis.
Dennis? Okay. Michaela, what's your middle name?
My middle name is Renee.
You said Renee? Okay. Denilah, what's your middle name? I like your hair too, honey.
Thank you. And my middle name is Nyla.
It's Nyla? Okay. Patience, what's your middle name?
My middle name is Raina.
Raina?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, good. It was good to learn a little bit more about you all. My sister has a really funny middle name. Her middle name is Loyal. Like the word loyal. It's like Taryn Loyal Brown. So it's always funny. But yeah, so cool. Thank you all for sharing. And for those of us who don't have a middle name, don't feel left out. We still love you all. We love you, Miss Miranda, still.
Thank you. I mean, it would have been Marie, my mom always said.
Oh, okay. So at least you know what it would have been. So for the sake of time, we are going to jump in. And as Miss Williams said, this week we know we're finishing up stuff. And so what we're going to do is we are going to kind of zoom through and read these last two chapters. That's pretty much going to be it. On Wednesday, we'll talk a little bit about it, and you'll have about some questions. I won't say how many, but you'll have some questions to answer, and then we'll be done for the year. So let's get started. Chapter 17. He was humming to himself as he put the bricks back in place. I can still taste that glorious cider, he said. What an impudent fellow Rat is. He has bad manners, Badger said. All rats have bad manners. I've never met a polite rat yet. And he drink too much, Mr. Fox said Mr. Fox, putting the last brick in place. There we are. Now home to the feast. Miranda.
They grabbed their jars of cider and off they went. Mr. Fox was in front. The smallest fox came next, and Badger last. Along the tunnel they flew, past the turning that led to Bunce's mighty storehouse, past Boggis's chicken house number 1, and then up the long home stretch towards the place where they knew Mrs. Fox would be waiting. "Keep it up, my darlings," shouted Mr. Fox. "We'll soon be there. Think what's waiting for us at the other end. And just think what we're bringing home with us in these jars. That ought to cheer up poor Mrs. Fox." Mr. Fox sang a little song as he ran. "Home again I swiftly glide, back to my beautiful bride. She will not feel so rotten as soon as she's gotten some cider in her, some cider inside, some cider inside her inside."
Then Badger joined in. "Oh, Mrs. Badger," he cried, "so hungry she very near died, but she'll not feel so hollow if she'll swallow some cider inside her inside." Gosh, you got your teacher singing. Let's see. Emmanuel, can you read the next paragraph?
They were still singing. They were still singing as they rounded the final corner and burst in upon the most wonderful and amazing sight any of them had ever seen. The feast was just beginning. A large dining room had been hollowed out of the earth, and in the middle of it, seated a huge table, were no less than 29 animals. They were
You can keep going.
Mr. Fox and the 3 small foxes, Mr. Badger, the 3 small badgers, Mole and Mrs. Mole, and 4 small moles, Rabbit and Mrs. Rabbit, and 5 small rabbits, Weasel and Mrs. Weasel, and 6 small weasels. The table was covered with chickens and ducks and geese and hams.
Nikayla, how many people, how many animals did they just say were at the table?
How many animals they said was the 4 small moles, the rabbit.
Go back into the text, Nikayla. Not right there. Go back a little bit more. How many people were at the table? How many animals were at the table?
Oh, the rabbit and Mrs. Rabbit and the small rabbits.
Not quite, honey. Anybody want to help her out? How many animals were seated at this table? You're naming the animals, but you're not telling me the exact number, Nikayla. Let's see. How many were seated at the table? This is going to be important for tomorrow, from Wednesday.
I see Logan's hand up.
Logan, how many animals are seated at the table?
29 animals are seated at the table.
Thank you, Logan. Nikayla, how many animals?
29.
Good job, honey. The table was covered with chickens and ducks and geese and ham and bacon, and everyone was tucking into the lovely food. "My darling," cried Mrs. Fox, jumping up and hugging Mr. Fox. "We couldn't wait. Please forgive us." Then she hugged the smallest fox of all, and Mrs. Badger hugged Badger, and everyone hugged everyone else. Amid shouts of joy, the great jars of cider were placed upon the table, and Mr. Fox and Badger and the smallest fox sat down with the others. Evan, can you read the next paragraph, please?
You must remember no one had eaten a thing for several days. They were ravenous, so for a while there was no conversation at all. There was only the sound of crunching and chewing as the animals attacked the
Succulent.
succulent food.
Uh,
At
um, Esteban, continue. You got it, Esteban? At last? There you go.
Okay.
At last?
At last, Badger stood up. He raised his glass of cider and called out, "A toast! I want you all to stand and drink a toast to our dear friend who has saved our lives this day, Mr. Fox." "To Mr. Fox," they all shouted, standing up and raising their glasses. "To Mr. Fox, long may he live."
Let's all raise our glasses. Act like we got our glasses. Uh-oh, Esteban got something. You got something to drink. You can raise it. Demaya too. Okay. Patience look like she trying to get something quick. Okay. So on the count of 3, we're going to say, "To Mr. Fox, long may he live." 1, 2, 3. To
To
Mr.
Mr. Fox,
Long may
long
he
may
live.
he live.
So yeah, they gave a toast to Mr. Fox. Let's keep reading. Miss Miranda, can you read the next paragraph? Then call on someone.
Then Mrs. Fox got shyly to her feet and said, "I don't want to make a speech. I just want to say one thing, and it is this. My husband is a fantastic fox." Everyone clapped and cheered. Then Mr. Fox himself stood up. Let's see. Kristen, go ahead and read.
This delicious meal he began, then stopped in the silence that followed. He let fly a tremendous belch.
Belch. The bird.
There was laughter and more clapping. This delicious meal, my friends, he went is by courtesy Messrs. Bogus, Buns, and Bean. More cheering and laughter, and I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. He let fly another colossal belch.
Belch. Good job. Thank you, Christian. Denila, go ahead. You heard me, Denila? Denila? We right here. Better out than in.
Better out than in, said Badger.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Thank you, said Mr. Fox, grinding hugely. But now, my friends, let us be. Seriously, let us think of tomorrow and the next day and the days after that. If we go out, we will be killed, right? Right, they shouted. We'll be shot before wolf gone a yard, said Badger.
Patience, continue. Patience. We right here, honey. Make sure we following along. Exactly. Thank you, Denilah.
Exactly, said Mr. Fox. But who wants to go out anyway? Let let me ask you that. We are all diggers. Everyone of us. We hate the outside. The outside is full of enemies. We only go out because we have to get food for our families. But now, my friends, we have an inter, inter,
Entire.
entirely new setup. We have a safe tunnel leading to to three of the fi, fi,
Finest.
finest. Do I keep reading?
Just read the last part. 3 of the finest stores in the world.
Three of the finest stores in the world.
Good. We do indeed, said Badger. I've seen them. And you know what this means, said Mr. Fox. It means that none of us will never ever go out into the open again. There was a buzz of excitement around the table. I therefore invite you all, Mr. Fox went on, to stay here with me forever. Forever? They cried. My goodness, how marvelous. And Rabbit said to Mrs. Rabbit, my dear, just think, we're never going to be shot at again in our lives. We will make, said Mr. Fox, a little underground village with streets and houses on each side. Separate houses for badgers and moles and rabbits and weasels and foxes. And every day I will go shopping for you all. And every day we will eat like kings. The cheering that followed this speech went on for many minutes. Okay, last chapter. So they've made a plan. They want to stay underground, and Mr. Fox is going to keep going to the Bunts, Bogus, and Beans storehouses. Houses. Stores, sorry. Logan, can you start us off with this, please? Chapter 18.
Outside the fox's hole, Bogus and Buns and Bean sat outside their tents with their guns on their laps. It was beginning to rain. Water was trickling down the necks of the 3 men and into their shoes.
Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
It's,
but
it's stuck on that chapter 18 page.
Did it work now?
No, it's still on the, oh, there it goes.
okay. He won't stay down there much longer now, Bogus said.
Stop right there, Logan.
The broom.
Logan, stop right there. Let's see. Elena, finish yourself, please. Never mind. Demaya, go ahead and finish. Maya, finish yourself. The brew.
The brew must be feast Bunt said. Bunt said, "That's right," Bean said. "I'll be making a dish for it in moment. Keep your gun, gun handy." They sat there by the hole waiting for the fox to come out. And so far as I know, they still are. Wait, I know they are still waiting.
Sorry, guys.
The end.
So what were you drinking?
They are ending.
It was really good living with him. He actually put on a good stuff, like that he wasn't doing anything. So you
Hey, Nikayla, can you mute yourself?
yeah.
Okay. So, um, that's the end of the story. Can we hear me?
Yeah,
Internet.
that's the end of the story.
I have to say, that was a really, 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 really long book.
And the story.
Yeah.
So whenever you finish something that took a long time, do you feel sad? Like whenever you finish something that took a long time, like this book, do you sometimes feel sad or like depressed? Because I feel depressed now.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you're sad that it's over, but I also feel happy that we finished it because that was a long book and we were able to get through it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Pretty sure everyone feels like that, right?
Yeah, I feel so depressed now. I want there to be an extra 20 chapters now.
You'll be able to show us what you know on Wednesday. Esteban, you have a question before we wrap up?
So can I put day 1 and 2 together because I only have a little bit written down. Day 1 for reading and day 3 together. Can I put them together?
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. So, what we saw. Oh, Demaya, you have a hand up. Oh, you don't have a hand up. Okay, so what we saw in these last 2 chapters was they were able to have their feast finally. They made it back and they had their feast. And during this feast, Badger gave a toast, and then Mrs. Fox said something about her husband, and then Mr. Fox came up with a plan. What happened in chapter 18? Do you want to give us a synopsis, Miss Miranda?
Chapter 18 was the very last one, right?
Yep.
So the 3 farmers were waiting outside the hole and they were talking with each other, saying, "Oh, he ought to come out soon. He got to be hungry." And it just kind of ended there, saying that as far as he knew, they're still there waiting.
Okay, so other than that, we're pretty much done. On Wednesday, we'll talk a little bit more about it before we get started with our small little assessment. But other than that, I'm going to let you all go early because you have some iReady stuff that you should be completing. And if you completed it, then you're done. Logan, we will do yours tomorrow, okay? Can Logan hear me? Logan, can you hear me? Are you there? Oh, he said okay. Okay, cool. Miss Williams is getting her Wi-Fi fixed today, and so hopefully tomorrow I won't be skipping and stuff. Other than that, we are about to get ready to say bye.
Does anyone? Let's see. I'm just gonna pick a random language here. Let's see. This one. I don't even know how to say that language.
That's fun.
Kummer? Kimmer?
Cooler?
Okay.
Cooler. Kimmer? What?
This one sounds easy. Kemmer, the language is, let me make sure I do it to everyone, is Khmer. And it sounds, and goodbye is Leah Hi.
Leah Hi. What? Leah Hi.
Leah Hi.
Leah Hi.
And it's a country in Asia. Leah Hi.
Leah, hi. Hi, Leah. Leah, hi. Hey, Leah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Leah Hi.
No, I'm just